Hey everyone, and welcome to this Facebook. Today is here in Australia, we are going to be having our full moon, and so I wanted to come in and share with you how you can harness the energy of the full moon. The full moon is this gorgeous moment where we work with the moon energy of where it is in its cycle and at different times. Hey Caroline, how are you? Beautiful. At different times gives us an opportunity to be able to work cohesively with it. So with the full moon, it is this beautiful moment where the moon illuminates the darkness within our place. Those deep dark secrets where we go in and we hide them are brought to the surface. Hey Anne, how are you? And this is this gorgeous moment where we have this opportunity to tap into the energy of the full moon to be able to go in and look at things that we may find that we need to surrender to let go of, release ourselves from that energetic hold that it has on us that doesn't generate the greatest from within ourselves. Hey Wendy, how is everyone? And so the thing I wanted to come in and share was, how do we harness this energy? What happens is a lot of the times, as a lot of these emotions, experience, thoughts, feelings, and emotions get really heightened with a full moon, we can move into a space where we can get emotionally exhausted or feel our energy levels get depleted, become increasingly sensitive. And what happens is we naturally move into this fight or flight syndrome. And as you know, fight or flight syndrome is a natural defense mechanism in which our body goes into defending itself because it thinks it's under attack and it needs to be able to hold on to everything with grim death. Now, if you think about that with, you know, the full moon is saying release and let it go and surrender to this, but on a subconscious level and on an energetic frequency, your body is in fight or flight mode and it is in defense mode and it's holding on to it. As much as you want to let everything go, it's just not going to. So you've got to move into this space of feeling really frustrated that you've gone through these rituals. Why aren't they working? And activate that and just connect back even more with the fight or flight syndrome. Fight or flight, isn't that true? Definitely. And that was why I really wanted to share this. Hey, Jean-Marie. Hey, Amy Marie. How is everyone? This is this gorgeous moment where if we learn how to work with the energy, we get to be able to harness that energy and really capitalize on it. So if you're in fight or flight mode, now this may not resonate with every single person, but just rest assured, even if it may not be affecting you, it may be affecting someone else, so that you may be therefore be able to share this information and knowledge with them. So hey Kathy, so with the full moon, and if you're in a fight or flight mode, we want to find a way to be able to deactivate that fight or flight mode, which is defense mode, and gently moving into a space where we can harness the full moon of surrendering, releasing, letting go, and giving ourselves permission to just drop everything that is no longer serving us. And the greatest way to be able to do that is through self-care mode. It's wonderful to see you too, Jean-Marie. So yesterday I put out a post around 6 of my favorite self-care rituals or modes that I do for my own self. This is really important, and it has been one of the biggest lessons I have learned along my own personal spiritual, intuitive, and psychic journey, is when we have a self-care mode or self-care rituals, it enables us to be able to take care of ourselves. When our energy levels are low, we move into that space of being reactive to even more stresses. Even the tiniest thing will trigger you off. And so therefore you're not going to be in a space to want to let things go. So it's so important to be able to understand, what are your go-to self-care rituals that you love doing that feel gorgeous and juicy and help you just reinstate harmony and balance and peacefulness within your own self at this full moon period. For me, I have about 6 or 8 go-to things that I don't just do with a full moon. I implement them on a weekly, if not daily basis. And then I also have some additional other things that I enjoy to do if I find that I have sort of let things go a little bit too long, and they need to do a little bit of extra work to be able to bring those energy levels back up. So if you want to be able to know what my 6 favorite things are, you'll find that there is a blog post on my page that you can go in and connect and have a read to. May give you some ideas, or may just trigger to remind you to just, hey, I am tired, or hey, I'm not feeling so awesome. I need to go do and take care of my own self. As I said, this was one of the number one things that I learned along the way that has been, you know what, it was the easiest thing to know from a mindset point of view, but took a little bit longer on the implementation, the actual action of doing it. There would be moments that I would say to myself, oh, Rachel, I need to go and have a bath, or I need to go and do something. I need to just de-stress, whatever. But I only thought about it. I didn't actually implement it. And this is where it's important to not just think about, because your soul will come in and intuitively say to you, hey, you need to take a break. Hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to do this for yourself. But we can bypass that. So it's easy to not recognize these things when they show up. I tend to recognize these things, however, I can easily let it slip. Definitely, and that is exactly why I'm just sort of wanting to do this Facebook Live, and also have put the blog post out, so that we can be gently reminded again of the significance and the positive impact that will follow through when you go into self-care. Throughout my journey of becoming a psychic intuitive, it has been the number one lesson that has been so imperative. When you are learning to develop your intuition and tap into your psychic skills, biggest part is learning about energy. And if you don't understand how to look after your own energy, how are you going to be able to read the energy vibration of what's around you? And what will happen is, the more, even if you do tune into that energy vibration outside of you, it's going to deplete your own energetic frequency so much that you can quite easily move into burnout. And this is not cool when you are wanting to explore and become curious and want to develop your own intuition and psychic abilities. If you're moving into burnout on a regular basis, guess what? That is so not fun, and that is not the purpose of it. Taking care of yourself along your spiritual and soulful journey has got to become a priority. We hear the saying all the time, hey Sarah, hey Paul, hey Anna. We hear the expression all the time, self-care is not selfish, it's a priority. Yet, as I said, a lot of the times we think about it from a logistical point of view. We go, yeah, that's so true, and we just move on and we don't actually do anything about it. This is this gentle reminder that your energy levels is a very good indication of how you are traveling through life. If your energy levels are low, that means that there is a distortion, or there is a disruption between your inner world and your outer world. And the fastest way to realign yourself back to holism is through self-care. Now, everyone's idea of self-care is so very different. And that's why I said in the post here is that it's really important to know, what is your self-care? What do you like to do for self-care? Hang on a second. All right, here we go. Sorry, I couldn't see all of the comments that were coming through. Yes, it's a priority. That is awesome. I'm so pleased, Teresa, that you understand that. Hey, Helen. Hello, Sarah. Learning about energy. Okay, that's awesome, Jean-Marie. That's so fabulous that this is resonating with you. The reason that this journey of not just learning about self-care became a priority, it was a need to, was that many years ago, after I had a bad boat accident that nearly killed me, I had to learn to take care of myself in order to get back on track. And so it had to become part of my daily ritual. And even though, and I had anxiety and depression and all of these things, I now made a vow to myself in that moment that I would never, ever let myself go back to the emotional and mental complete meltdown of myself, that I would do whatever it took to make sure that I never ever visited that space again in my whole entire life. And so therefore self-care became more than just about self-care. It became a day-to-day commitment of what I had to do to be able to get myself back on track. And the thing that I learned the most is that when you are doing self-care, it boosts your confidence. It enables you to connect into your intuition because your channel becomes clearer because you learn to trust yourself more. I learned the importance of making, when you spend so much time, like in my industry and the work that I do, that I absolutely love, I am there supporting, guiding and nurturing other people along their journey. I've therefore got to be able to take that on board my own self to support, guide and nurture myself. Self-care is a self-responsibility. A lot of times people go, you know, if this person did this for me, I'd feel so much better. Hang on a second. Your self-care is your responsibility. It is up to you to recognize that something is out of balance and you have the power to change that. My self-care, I think about me, but exactly what you're saying just now I do daily. That is awesome, Caroline. And I'd love to hear, what are the benefits that you find when you do self-care daily, Caroline? And so not only does it give you confidence, does it increase your level of trust when working with your intuition, it makes you become a better mom, a better wife, a better sister, a better friend. Why? Because your energy is vibing well. When you also have your energy levels and taking care of yourself, you learn to also establish healthy boundaries. Because when you start recognizing how good you feel when you do this self-care, you're not going to let yourself fall into the perimeters where you fall back into feeling really low and shit. Now, don't get me wrong with this. We all have moments that we slip up, but we don't go back to the bottom of it. We notice, we become aware because you're so used to feeling good and you're so used to being able to tune into your energy levels that the moment that you start seeing them slip is the moment that you go, hey, hang on a second, that's right, I may have forgotten, or I may not have done something today to take care of myself. Cool. Immediately you can correct that and bring yourself back into balance. But if you are moving into a space where you're only going into self-care when you're burnt out, guess what? That's a terrible way to experience this life, because you're either going to have these massive peaks when you're beaming and having a wicked and feeling awesome about yourself, and then not recognize any of the signs until you're at the bottom and burn out. And then you have to rebuild your confidence, relearn to trust yourself, and that becomes incredibly exhausting on itself. So this is where I find if I wake up daily, I tell myself I have to do this, whatever it may be. That is awesome. And I think that's a really great thing to share, Caroline, because there are times where I don't feel like doing some of that self-care that I talk about, but I do it. And I always say to myself, Rachel, if this takes me 30 minutes of my day, just get on with it, just do it. And if at the end of the 30 minutes you don't feel any better, at least you know that you have done something for yourself for the day, that is something good that you can reflect back on and go, you know what, like I may not have I may not be feeling at that elevated level that I want to, but I can still take pride in myself and going, you know what, I took care of myself. I took care of my needs. I nourished myself and I gave to myself, so I can sit back here at the end of the day and go, you know what, I feel really proud of myself. And this is something that's really important to be mindful of, is that when you are self-caring, it gives you more pride in yourself, which definitely helps elevate that confidence levels within yourself. Hard to trust, and that is so true. When your energy levels are low and you're not taking care of yourself, and it's so easy not to trust that within your own self, because you're moving more from a space of fight or flight mode. And when we're in flight or flight mode, we are more attuned to work from an anxious space. And so therefore, whenever anyone's ever feeling anxious or defensive or resistant or reactive, guess what? You're not going to trust your self-love. So it's so important that we understand that self-care is more than it just thinking that we're just taking some juicy time out of our schedule to sit there and recognize how goddamn gorgeously amazing you are. It's got nothing to do with that. It is about nourishing yourself on every single level so that you can show up and shine your own unique awesomeness, and do that with confidence and pride rather than doing it from a space of ego and needing to scream it from the rooftops to let everyone else know that you're awesome, because that doesn't actually come from a space of confidence. That comes from a space of ego. I'm starting to make sure I meditate in positive affirmations first thing in the morning now, at least, and that is a wicked way to start the day, at least, because what that does is it sets the tone of how you want to experience your day. And not just that, it also gives you the empowerment factor of deciding on how you want to feel from the first thing in the morning. So it's very, very powerful what you're doing. And it's a really awesome way to also just capitalize on that, Elise, is also do those affirmations at night. What it does is it sends the mind off into this beautiful space that it drops into this gorgeous sleep state with those powerful affirmations that helps set the tone and get you prepared for the next day. So that might be another added bonus thing that you could do for your own self as well. But as I was saying, like when it comes to working with the full moon, hey Tiffy, how are you, beautiful? When we're working with the full moon energy is going to circulate for a couple of days. When we go in and we do our invocations around what we want to let go of, whether it's a person, a place, a situation, an emotion, a behavior, anything that we are wanting to let go of, we can do that with the beautiful full moon. Then what we want to do is we want to be able to harness that energy by taking care of ourselves so that our body can be in a beautiful state of surrendering, to allow that process to completely follow through with ourself. And this is where self-care comes in, and everyone's identity of self-care is so very different. So feel into what feels right for you. You know, some people may find having a bath is something that is beautiful. For others, it's taking a walk. Other people, it's affirmations. For other people, it's meditating. This is the moment over the next couple of days to amplify your self-care mode, to give yourself permission to be in alignment with that releasing and surrendering process. The ritual isn't about just tonight, it's about the whole process becomes the ritual of what do you want to let go of, but what are the beautiful things that you need to do to be able to support that process of the ritual that you've just done. I've been trying to sleep good. Too many angels coming to visit, and I have to tell them chill sometimes. Amy, that's that. Okay, definitely will add that. No worries, Elise. Amy, my biggest suggestion with that, sweetie, which is a little bit off track, but I will. What are some good affirmations for letting go? I will share that in just 2 seconds. Becky, just give me 2 seconds, hon. Amy, my biggest suggestion with that is, as I said, some of the self-care mode, that rituals that we need to do is to be able to establish healthy boundaries. It's really important that if your sleep has been deprived through communication through angels and visitations, it's really important to remind them that how much you actually require the sleep, and that you welcome them to visit, but to do it in a wake state and to leave you to relax to sleep during the night. This is a beautiful self-care mode where we establish healthy boundaries. And guides, angels, past loved ones, they are no different than humans. If you had a person that kept ringing you in the middle of the night, just ringing to have a chat with you, you wouldn't answer the phone, would you? Most probably not. I know I certainly wouldn't, unless it was what I thought was an emergency of a loved one. So angels and guides and past loved ones are exactly the same. You need to be able to establish that healthy boundaries. And if you just let them know that you welcome and are open and receptive to the information that they want to share with you, but it needs to be done in a wake state, they'll be like, cool, no worries. But unless you set these boundaries, they're just going to keep coming in whenever they feel that it is the right time for them. Because remember, their time works on a very different frequency than what our time does, love. So Becky, you were asking me what are some really great affirmations for letting go. I like to keep my affirmations really simple. If I have affirmations that are too long, I tend to forget them and I get frustrated. So one of my favorite ones for letting go is simple. It is simply like, I give myself permission to surrender to the energy vibration of, and insert what it is that you want to let go of. So it would be, you know, a person, a place, or something like that. Or I cut the cords of this energetic connection between myself and this experience. Think about what is the action that you're wanting to do and set up an affirmation that matches that. So then your mind, body, soul, and spirit are in complete alignment with the action and the ritual that you're doing. So as I said, these are things that just need to be really simple. And as another one is, if you're not sure what needs to be let go of, or that you've gone through things, but there's something within you that goes, hey, I think there's still something that's lingering, but I'm not sure what it is, because our human mind doesn't always, our intuitive mind has got so much more insight then our human mind has the capacity to understand. So sometimes I will keep an affirmation that is opening up the channel to allow my soul to release something that I may not be aware of. So I would say, I would go through, like for myself on a full moon, I write down all the things that I want to let go of. I write down the things that I can do to support myself, which is my self-care mode. And then just before I'm about to, because I love to do a burning ceremony on a full moon and a new moon, just before I'm about to burn it, I will have my mantra or incantation or affirmation. I will say, I give myself permission to surrender and release all the energetic bonds that are between myself and what is on this list. And I also give permission for my soul to release anything it feels that I am ready to let go of. So you're also giving permission for your soul to come in and work cohesively with you to let go of things that you may not even be aware of. What positive affirmations would you recommend at night? Affirmations for at nighttime. There are an array of them. Depends on what you're trying to work on, I think, is always the most important thing to think about when working with affirmations. I always like to have affirmations at night that remind me of who I am and what I love and the person that I am. So I would have affirmations that says, Rachel, you are a divine goddess that is here to support and love others. Remember to care and support yourself. I would have affirmations that, if it was around money, it was one of my favorites is, money comes to me easily and frequently, or I am an open vessel to receive abundance from everywhere. I would have affirmations around business, so that I have business affirmations at night. I think nighttime is a beautiful time to remind yourself of the amazing things that you've done throughout the day, and to remind yourself that you're amazing, that you're gorgeous, that you're unique, and that you're here for a purpose. These are the things that I like to see, that affirmations are like soul conversations that you get to have with yourself, to remind yourself of the beauty that is within, that we don't always tap into on a day-to-day basis. So I would go through and have a look at gentle little reminders that you need to hear, and they would become my nighttime affirmations, love. And another way that we can do affirmations is, once you find affirmations that really do just connect with you, it's as simple. You grab your phone, you get on audio, you record, like you just say those affirmations in your on your phone, and it stores on there, and then at nighttime you can just put your earbuds in, and you don't actually have to say them, because sometimes we can be tired or it doesn't flow as easily, and you can just put your earbuds in and boom, there's your affirmations sitting right there for you. I mean, if you want to get creative, add music, do whatever you want with them, you know, add visuals, but probably not so much for nighttime. But like, there are really simple and easy ways. to which to be able to do that. They sound great. Thank you so much. That's my absolute pleasure, Elise. So I hope that this is something that each and every one of you can take away on how to be able to capitalize and harness the energy of the full moon. Understand the absolute significance of why it's so important to be able to self-care, and to be able to, most importantly, learn how to manage your energy levels so that you have a much more of a direct link to be able to connect in and tap into that intuitive, psychic, soulful version of yourself that is always there to guide you, support you, reveal the next step, be there with you every single step of the way of your journey. So if you would love to learn how to be able to develop that deeper connection with your intuitive soul self, then you'll find that there is a link in this header if you want to jump in and book a sacred soul chat where I share with you how to be able to invite rituals, how to connect into energy, how to read energy, and how to develop that intuitive soul communication with yourself. Then feel free to jump on this 1 hour chat where it goes deep and we explore what that looks like for you and how I can help you. So I wish everyone an incredibly fabulous full moon this evening. I also put up a post about the full moon mantra, full moon affirmation, where I offered the opportunity for anyone that was there to just type yes in that post, yes please, and I'll send through a full moon invocation worksheet. It's just a single worksheet. As I said, it just has one column to be able to write down the things that you want to be able to surrender, let go, and release, which is just things like people, places, situations, experiences. You just list them there. You don't have to explain the whole story. You just write them down in bullet points. Then on the next column, it is simply to write what is the self-care modes, what are the things that you're going to do to be able to support yourself as your body is going through the process of letting all of that energetic connection become free from you, to create beautiful more space, which then prepares us for the new moon, which usually comes about 10 days afterwards. So if this is something that you would love, just simply go into the post that's below, which is the full moon affirmation, and type yes please, and I'll send it through to messenger for you in your inbox messenger for you to be able to do, so that you have this gorgeous little ritual that you can do for the full moon this evening. But I hope everyone has this incredibly gorgeous full moon. Remember that taking care of yourself is a priority, and it is a priority that is about you being responsible to take care of you. And you know what? The most amazing thing that comes from is it? You start to realize just how incredibly empowered that you are. You start realizing that other people aren't here to just purely make you happy. Happiness is an inside job, so you need to be able to be doing these things to keep you feeling happy. When you're happy, your energy is vibing at this wicked cool space. So remember, taking care of you is your role, and this is where we become empowered, and this is where you get to explore it and go, well, if it's up to me to make me happy, what do I want to do that I know that makes me happy? Then just go do that, and watch how much that directly impacts every single area of your life. When you are vibing at a cool space, everything in your world vibes at that frequency, and other people around you will recognize that happiness and that elevation of your energy levels, and they will want to know what you're doing. And you can simply share that one massive tip, which is self-care is a priority. So have a fabulous evening, everyone. Much love to you, and take care.